Dear students, welcome to official YouTube channel of ASSMS IOIT. I, Mrs. Harshada Magar, will help you to learn about some basic concept of acoustic. What is studio acoustic? As we know, acoustic is a science that deal with the study of all mechanical waves in gases, liquid and solid, which includes vibration, sound, ultrasound and infrasound. Now see, as acoustic is used in all modern audio and noise control industry, it is very necessary to study about the studio acoustic. So this study of acoustic involve the generation, propagation and reception of these mechanical waves and vibrations. So as the acoustic deal with the everything related to sound, it is better to understand some basic characteristics of sound. So what is this sound? It is nothing but the form of energy which produced by the vibration of the body. Now this sound required a material medium for its propagation. As we all know that it can be transmitted through solid, liquid and gases. This sound, when it conveyed from one medium to another medium, there is no bodily movement of the medium through which it passes. The sound required a definite interval of time to travel from one point to another point in a medium, and its velocity is smaller than the velocity of light. We know that we have seen the sonar system where this important characteristic is used. The velocity of sound is maximum in solid and it is least in gases. And the important characteristic which is we are going to study further also in the case of echoes and reverberation, this the sound may be reflected, refracted or scattered, and it exhibit diffraction and interference. Sound in a transfer mode, it exhibits a polarization also. So these are the very important characteristics of sound. Now, as the total range of sound, it is classified into three main categories, which are these: the sound waves of frequency below 20 Hz, they are termed as infrasonic, that is inaudible range. Then sound waves of frequency above 20 kHz, they are termed as ultrasonic, again inaudible. But the sound in the range of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, they are termed as a audible sound. Again, these audible sound, it is not the case that total audible sound is in the useful range. It is again classified into musical sound and noise. The sound which produces a pleasing effect on our ear, it is known as a musical sound, and that which produces jarring or unpleasant effect, they are called as noises. So this flowchart will help you to understand. There are three different categories: infrasonic, audible and ultrasonic. Again, audible, it is divided into two categories: music and noise. Now our point of concentration is musical sound, as we are using it for the acoustic. Now see, while developing the acoustic studio, what is the important thing is to enhance this musical sound and to suppress the all other noises. So it is better to understand the characteristic of this musical sound. So as we know, sound is in the form of waves that travel with an average speed of 340 meter per second. Again, we know that sound cannot travel through this vacuum. But while considering these three important characteristics, pitch, quality and intensity, we can see which are the different musical sound which can be used for a different purpose while designing the acoustic studio. So one by one we will see all these three characteristics of sound. So first it is a pitch or frequency. Now pitch is nothing but, in simple language, the pitch or frequency, we can say that it is defined as the number of cycle per second. As in the case of normal definition of frequency, it is nothing but the number of cycle per second. As we know, greater the number of cycles, higher is the pitch. Okay, so pitch is the characteristic of sound which is the sensation conveyed to our brain by the sound waves falling on our ears. Okay, as we know, it falls on the diaphragm and it produces the movement of the diaphragm, and that sensation, it is conveyed to our brain. Okay, and it depends directly on the frequency of incident of this sound wave. Okay, so though the pitch is directly related to frequency, they are not the same. So in general, the frequency is a physical quantity, okay, the number of cycle per second, whereas the pitch is physiological quantity. We can see that the sound of mosquito produces higher pitch than the sound of lion because the number of cycle per second, as we've seen, the greater number of cycle, higher is the pitch. So we can say the pitch of the sound of mosquito is higher than the sound of lion. Okay. The next is the quality. This characteristic will help us to understand different sound of different people or different musical instruments. So we can say the quality of sound is the one which help us to distinguish between musical notes emitted by the different instrument or voices, even though they have same pitch or loudness. Means if the different instrument they are having the same pitch or loudness, again you can differentiate from which instrument we are hearing this sound because of this quality or timbre characteristic of sound. Then the intensity or loudness of sound. So simply it is defined as the sound power per unit area. Okay, or we can say intensity of sound at a point. It defined as the average rate of flow of acoustic energy per unit area. Okay, so simply it is known as, simply when we define the intensity or loudness, we can say that it is a sound power per unit area. Okay, then the intensity of the sound wave we can express in the watts per square meter. The loudest and the almost painful sound is about 10 raised to 13 times the intensity of sound that is just audible by the human ear. Okay, so whatever we can hear by our normal ear, if it become loudness become most painful when it become 10 raised to 13 times. Okay, so this is also important to study about the intensity of loudness. Then the unit of sound. So decibel for sound intensity, it is, we can say, the somewhat lower unit than the bell. The unit of bell is quite a large, hence it is expressed in another standard unit called as decibel. So 1 bell is equal to 10 decibel. So these are some basic characteristic and classification of sound which is very much important to understand the acoustic. Thank you.